2.4 miles swimming in the ocean here. You bike 112 miles, and then you get to run a marathon. This is something that we all choose to do just to kind of stretch our limits. Kind of crawl out on that farthest limb to find the fruit of success.
This is the biggest race of the year for all of us. Everybody tries to qualify. They spend all year trying to get here.
The first challenge, of course, is the 12 months or so of training that gets you here. When I first started doing triathlons 12 years ago, that's when I learned how to swim. And so that was a challenge for me, learning how to swim as an adult. And quite honestly, it was terrifying to do the swim. And so I would survive the swim and then do really well on the bike and the run. For most of us, having a pool like this in our houses where we can just go swim any time of the day or night that we choose to, outstanding training tool. For me, it's the only way that it could work, which is why I bought one of the endless pools in the first place.
I do a lot of training in my endless pool. In fact, all of my long swims I do in the endless pool. When I first began this sport, I could only swim one time across a swimming pool. And now I usually am in the top 25% coming out of the swim. And I know the endless pool had a lot to do with that.
One of the biggest hassles with swimming is getting your gear together, getting in the car, getting to the pool.
It's great after the long days when you don't feel like getting in a car. It's great to get up first thing in the morning and go down and use the pool. It's just so convenient.
Yeah, that's great. That's you can really feel your stroke and notice any little differences.
A lot of times in the water you can't really feel if you've made a change. In fact, if a coach says to you, you need to make a change with your stroke, you have to overemphasize what you're doing, almost go to the ridiculous end of being able to try to fix it. The mirror gives you instant feedback on what you're doing. Not only can you look and see what you're doing wrong, but then you can also see whether you're making a difference.
It's a great training tool. The athlete gets feedback the whole time while they're swimming, just from the mirror alone. But when you can tell somebody, you're crossing over, which is a real common problem among swimmers, and they see it repetitively by looking at that mirror, they can begin to correct it and feel where it should be. I mean, it's the best of every world for a coach and the athlete.
I don't think there's any question that a triathlete could benefit from an endless pool because of the fact that there aren't a lot of turns and you have the same sort of feeling as you would in an open water situation, especially when they're dealing with currents.
Before I used to live in Florida and had a lot of open water, which right now we don't have anything like that. So we're in the pool kind of going back and forth.
In a regular pool, you're having to do a flip turn every 17 or 19 strokes. And you're doing that over and over and over and over. With the endless pool, you're swimming nonstop.
What people find when they come to Hawaii, for example, is they'll go out and swim in open water and their backs get tight because they're not used to swimming in a prone position for an extended period of time. They've always got that flip turn.
I just did the commentating for the Alcatraz Triathlon in San Francisco, and one of the problems that the triathletes had was they were swimming up current. The current was going out and they were swimming against it. Well, that's the whole idea behind the endless pool, so they could actually get that feeling of swimming against a current. And that current takes up your whole body in the pool, which is a very similar feeling to an open water swim.
People in this sport just don't have the time to spend traveling back and forth to pools. So I think for triathletes, this is probably one of the best tools you could possibly have.
I probably train 25 to 30 hours a week. I save an hour or at least an hour and a half each time I swim.
I run from my house, I bike from my house. If I could swim right at my house, it would make things so much nicer.
It probably allows me to swim 3 or 4 more times a week than I would if I had to get in my car and go to a pool somewhere.
And that gives you that extra time to bike, to run, to work, to be with your family, all the other things that are so hard to balance, in the life of an Ironman type triathlete.